Let there be peace and love in this world. Welcome to Satsang. In order to just be what you always are, don't create anybody who goes anywhere. Like I go out or I go in. That is part of the apparent reality. It's not what you are, it plays upon what you are. So to just make your real nature obvious for a moment, my master Papaji said, a split second, allow yourself just to be, not to go anywhere. And to be what you are will not be presented by a real image or feeling or experience. And if it is so, it's again part of this apparent world. Because you have to understand that time and space creates always a beginning, a span of time, an end, and space creates superficiality or depth, out, in. It's all the play of this illusory reality, where I and my life goes on. And when suddenly in this bubble I is abided by the search for freedom, it has to be clearer and clearer through sharp discrimination that it will not be by transforming I and its life, or by gaining some state that it will be at peace, means that the search and its seeker will drop as reality. It is as simple as that, but the mind can never take simplicity because it's dual, so from the start it's always already complicated. So the mind doesn't have its place here. In reality, the mind is just a passing mirage. And the mind includes sensual experiences, feelings, understandings, misunderstandings, conceptualizations. It looks like nothing escapes to show what it is not. And when you are left not hooking yourself at anything you know, keep quiet there. You are at home there. You are the home. You are yourself. So the most direct indication, one of, is surely don't think. Don't go into any movement of the mind, which is your habit to exist. But then it makes you search also. So don't go into any movement of the mind in order to make what you really are obvious to yourself, in order to let the self reveal itself by itself, through itself, with no means like the mind or anything else. So you see, satsang is expressed when a seeker comes alone with the urge, the fire to know his real nature. It's called fire for freedom, if you like. Let me be free from all my beliefs. But as it looks like in this apparent world, when one comes alone, quickly is formed a group, a sangha, with the same love. That's why one comes to satsang, because there is not much given here. So who would come? Only those who want nothing, actually. But yet, as a person, he wants to be free. And that fire, that desire, has to be kept till it disappears on its own. So, as there is a group, a sangha, developed by itself a kind of world, even though maybe spiritual world. Spiritual because the passion is to hear satsang. Yet it's like the garden of the king. The doors are open freely. We leave the world, but as we are many now, there is again a spiritual world in the garden, enjoying everything, shaping relationships with all the human qualities and defects that are naturally expressed in duality. So one should never forget why he comes. Because I tell you, on the way there will be a lot of different happenings, events, which will be so strong for each one. Why? Because probably it is in oneself, and satsang brings everything out to leave you if you allow it. Because the silence will not be there if things are repressed, kept cherishly in some drawer. Everything has to come out by itself. You have not to work on it like for therapies. By itself, it's provoked by satsang to leave you. Now you have to get a strength to cross it, you see. And the strength is fire for freedom. I want to be free this life, till one day in this life it comes, I want to be free now. So that has to be always the motor, the fuel of you being in a Sangha. Otherwise, I tell you, one will be washed away, because what is a Sangha? They are forms. And so the guide becomes a form also. And in between forms, things happen. Relations, hate and love. And one can be washed away by that if someone, a seeker, gives meaning to whatever the form of the guide does. You never know if the form of the guide is just a friend or that to stir up something in you. The form of the guide tells, don't look at the form. And yet, you need a form to tell you that till it is a fact in you. It is not up to a seeker to decide to leave the form of the guide, unless it is his freedom, and good luck for that. But you will finish your work only when you keep contact with your guru. And the guru is not there to bind you, to make you miserable. It is there to again and again free you, even though it may not look like. So that trust has to be there. If not, everybody is free to live. And I tell you one thing more. It is absolutely meaningless the positions one may have around the form of the guru, or the smiles, or the so-called friendship. It is meaningless. It happens because it's duality. Don't be misled by that. It doesn't mean anything. And on top of it, those who know what happened around Papaji, even here, it looks like some are very intimate and some not. It's totally fake. It is due to circumstances. It is due who knows for what. It doesn't mean anything. In satsang, everybody is loved the same. Because what? That love comes from your own self. And the self is one and the same for all living beings. So very welcome to Sat. If some doubts brings you here, if some confusion brings you here, if anything which is a trouble brings you here, please ask. It's a good place for that. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for that. I needed to hear this.
I see a few new faces. Hmm? Don't be shy. We are alone. Hmm.
Ganga.
Yes, hi. What's your name?
Claire.
Claire.
I came on Friday for the first time,
Yes.
and I've been for the last 5 years with another master.
Yes. Good. You hear something? No. Huh? What shall we do? I repeat. So,
You want me to speak louder?
yes.
Yeah. I've been 5 years with another master,
Yeah.
and I had a strong feeling to come here to meet you, and I've tried in the past to meet you, and I've been in the same room with you before, but I've never been in the satsang until Friday, and I'm
Yeah.
so happy to be here. I guess I just have this maybe like a feeling like guilt or something like this, because I'm not sure what is my relationship with this master that I've been with now.
Yeah.
Like, he helped me so much,
Of course.
and
Of course.
I don't know if this is like I'm trying to distract myself by coming to see you, but I feel...
This I don't know.
Just decide. Oh, you don't know, sorry.
Yeah. This I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to see what do I want really, and where you feel. No, don't speak of your past. You just see things like now. Where do I feel helped for this last step, which is liberation? You see, there you stay. There you stay. Now I will tell a few words about how we are helped on the way. You see, if it is like that, or you make your journey with the same guide up to the end. And I tell you, difficulties with a guide doesn't mean it's a bad guide. Okay. Now it can happen also that we pass through a few or one teacher, and you are extremely helped because he introduces you to this amazing opening to your own self. But he can teach up to where he is himself. And there, if you need something more, if you need to hear something, then go where you hear it. And you will always be grateful to your teacher, of course. Don't be bound by gratefulness. Just, of course, it's natural. Thank you so much to have helped me. But as I say, if it is due to some strong difficulty, you have to be sincere enough. You have to have a sharp discrimination. You have to have the blessing of your own demand to see it clearly. Should I stay there? Can I go somewhere? Yeah. And I tell you, in the big picture, it's always the self which speaks, and the forms may change. It's like that. Yes.
Nice to meet you, Ganga.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Ying.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it before, but I realized I have trauma from when I was a child.
Yes.
It has been really hard for me to be with myself all this time
Yes.
from long time ago,
Yeah.
and also recently I discovered that it's not only the personal problems that my mind wants to solve, but what I really want is to be who I am in this natural way,
Very good.
to naturally overcome these things and be myself.
Okay. There is a little boycott here.
Okay.
Don't care about the person with trauma now if you go for freedom, if you really want to know your real self. That will take care. If you go for your real self, forget about curing your trauma, because that concerns a person.
It has a lot of difficulties in my life, Prince.
I know, but you said something very important now. That search to know yourself starts to grow, starts to maybe to be your priority, but for that you have to give up the wish to fix your traumas, because it's two different search, opposite, you see. One concerns the person, the I, and the other concerns the disappearance of I as a real concept, as a reality. It will boycott it.
I feel this.
Okay, so have the courage, have the trust from now that you go with the indications to realize your real self. And when the thoughts of the past come, you don't go there. Try not to go there. If you go there by habit, by past beliefs and so on, stop at once.
Whenever I try to do that, and that person will come like screaming, like I want to be taken care, and it's really hard.
Yeah, but you will be... you see, if you take care, it will be temporary again. As everything in this world is temporary. Go for something which really takes care, which is the real self of all beings. You included, of course. That takes care. Because once you realize your real self, the rest will look like secondary.
And I will be happy after.
You can read all the scriptures. They say, how happy am I to have lost that search, to fix this world, to fix my me. Oh, peaceful, oh, great, oh, grateful am I to have followed that indication. Some trust has to be there. It can grow. The trust can grow. But if still it is not very clear, you ask me. Huh?
I just sometimes feel it might take a long time, and before that I could.
That is a concept linked to your past. It's
Yes.
not true. So, what I would suggest you, when you have thoughts like this or experiences, know that the mind talks of something it doesn't know.
Okay.
The mind will only speak about the past, about what it knows. I'm not going to go there. Don't give value to that. Try. Yeah?
I'll try.
Okay. Okay, great. Where are you going now?
I don't know at all.
Okay. That's better already. You don't know. That's already better than before. Before you knew. You told me some past. Now you don't know.
You mean where do I go after this, or?
No, just now. I wanted to see where you went.
Okay. I was thinking again. What about some behaviors that I really would like to
Forget
change?
about all this, dear. You will be miserable because you see, you will never have a perfect behavior, even with all your efforts. You have to understand that. In this duality, what is duality? It's what appears to you, what you can describe. There is a subject and an object. There is always good and bad, isn't it? Always good and bad. So we are always bad enough to go towards better. And that is the mind, the movement of the mind, you see. It goes always beyond. Oh, you attain sainthood. Oh, still there is beyond and beyond and beyond. A better saint than another and this and that. And it never ends. And in the end, you are deeply unsatisfied and miserable. So don't go to search or to transform this expression of your own self. Just try to realize what you already are when you don't get busy, when you don't hook yourself at a thought, a sensation.
You mean even when there's like relationship patterns or like some codependency, all this?
Everything, you see, everything, it's a description, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a description.
Yeah.
I'm tricked by this. So.
Yes, because you have not seen enough clearly, I think, that everything you can describe, everything which arises is a thought. And one suffers by the thought because it can be good, but it can change and be bad suddenly, you see. So we bound ourselves to the mind. And what is the search for freedom? Is to be freed from the tyranny of the mind. The mind will still show up, but not its tyranny, because the reality has been removed. How? Realizing yourself, realizing I'm not what appears. In order to realize, to have that split second of realization, you don't hook yourself at anything whatsoever. Don't bring even I there. That direction, I mean.
It's more clear now.
Great. Whatever is still there in you, please ask and be clearer and clearer. Yeah? Don't hesitate. Yeah. Hi.
I just want to expose resistance. And it's coming up since 3 days or something. But it's not really resistance. It's something like fear and tightness and sorrow and sadness, like surrounded by love.
It's a strange toffee, I mean.
And it's so clearly also seen that it's not me.
But then it's clear.
But I just want to expose it because it's like still there is someone holding it together and just trying to hide behind that thing.
You are that one. Yeah, I remember you. You always speak of hiding. Well, now I've seen you.
Yeah, but it's much better. It even feels good hiding.
No, that is worst.
At first.
Yeah, because then you will be comfortable with some coat, some dress. I'm well with hiding now. No, don't be naked. And you are naturally naked. You just believe you are a coat. And that goes on changing. I'm hiding a coat. I'm uncomfortable hiding another grey coat. I'm comfortable hiding a light coat. You will never hand that, you see. So don't be satisfied by acceptance or rejection. I am that which is always there. Let there be a rejection or an acceptance. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about don't land anywhere?
It's not to talk, it's an action. Don't land on this question. Where are you? That sentence is said because, you see, we create platforms all the time, red carpets, and we sit on it. And we start the life by that. The first carpet was, I am born. I'm born. So the whole satsang is meant to remove carpets. And the essential is that one. Are you born? Question that one. Am I born? And if I speak of my birth, I speak of what? Of what appeared. Means body, mind. That appeared. It's a carpet, it's a platform where the personal life starts and never question, because it's the base from where somebody starts and evolves and dies. So it's very, very important, if you want to know what it means, what the wise speak about, that indication is, what's your face before birth? Means, is there any face there? Is there any birth? What does it mean? And then you start to understand that what creates this concept of reality to the birth is, who says I'm born? I. A rising I hooked at a concept. A concept which is only in the world of appearance, body, mind, sensation, feelings, emotions. How this could appear? From where does it appear? Then start not with the object, start with the subject. I started to say, I am born. So, what is this I? Who am I? And as everything else in this world, it appeared, it also disappears. After who am I, you cannot stay much with who am I. It disappears. Keep quiet where it disappears and don't take the next appearance. That is most valuable. That's what satsang indicates. That's what you are. Mm. Busy?
More quiet now.
Right there. Yeah, thank you.
Oui, je n'arrive pas à comprendre
I don't manage to understand
lorsque je ne suis ni dans mon mental,
when I'm not in my mind,
ni dans mon corps.
nor in my body.
Où est-ce que je suis?
Where am I?
Ah, je dis en anglais ou en français? Qu'est-ce que tu préfères?
Et si je comprends pas, je te dis.
Où est-ce que je suis, c'est ça que tu dis?
Oui, c'est-à-dire-
Mais t'as pas besoin de savoir. So, you have not to know. Because if you start to know, you use your mind. You have not to know where you are. You just are. That is the difference with I become. So I become someone and I am placed somewhere. It's because you are exactly no one that you don't need to know where you are. Okay. That was a small okay, but
Non, parce que quand je reste tranquille,
When I'm quiet,
je sens que je suis ni dans le corps ni dans le
I
mental,
feel that I'm
mais-
nor in the mind nor in the body.
mais je me sens. Il y a un peu comme de la folie, quelque
There
chose
is a type of craziness.
yeah, because the feeling also is not really to keep quiet. You hook at a feeling. That's why this trouble comes. You see, when Papaji was saying those golden words, I tell you, but it's misunderstood, and it's very natural that it's misunderstood because the mind wants to own it, to understand that. To keep quiet means be naturally who you are. Don't use your mind. If you don't use your mind, with the feelings included, what are you doing? You are busy? Is there something busy there? You keep quiet. So you see, it is the mind which troubles. You are at the proper place and the mind comes. But where am I then? You follow that thought, it troubles. That's what I repeat again. Don't follow any thought. Just for a moment, the moment you dedicate it to realize yourself, don't follow any thought.
C'est difficile.
It's difficult.
No, it's also the mind which says so. The mind wants to comment. The mind will not surrender. He will argue, he will comment, not to allow yourself to be free. Because means, if you are freed from it, is no more the tyrant.
Non, non.
Le tyran, il n'est plus le tyran. So understanding that, be more vigilant. And if it is not yet clear, you ask again. Yeah?
Then, is it possible to realize freedom with this body mind? In this
Is it
lifetime?
possible to realize the self?
Yeah, freedom or with this body and mind in this lifetime. Meaning, freedom, as I understand it, is not to identify with ego, right? Yeah.
Ego means the body mind.
Right. So, then is it possible to realize it?
Then otherwise why satsang should be there? To tell you in 10 lives? No, it's possible now when you don't give power to your mind.
What's the expression of that freedom in a body mind?
That you don't, the person don't search anymore. It doesn't take himself for a seeker or a someone in reality. It's a big thing. Doesn't look like it's a big thing.
Does that person still think?
Sorry?
Does that person still thinks after realize the self? You still use your body and mind?
Of course. If it
What's the
doesn't
difference?
die, it just continues its life, or maybe its life will change, but it will just react to circumstances, enjoying what is there, and if nothing is there, keeping quiet.
So the mind is less power in this.
No. What appears can be as intense as before, but you see anxiety for the search to think still, oh, happiness or peace will be when I attain this and that. All that drops. It's a big difference, I tell you.
So there's no an external thing to get to for being happy, but just accept everything, kind of.
No, acceptance is too much. Why acceptance? Then if you accept now, you can be sure that in 1 hour, 10 hours, 10 days, 10 weeks, or 10 years, at the corner, something will make you not accept. So I would say, don't trust the reality of whatever is there. You react, you play, you are engaging, and so on. But know that this is the apparent world. I'm not this body, not this mind. You will not know it, realize it before you realize yourself, yet you can trust this indication.
But you still believe that you are a person, or that's identification?
It's no more a question of belief, you
Okay.
see. Obviously, body, mind appears. This is the person I thought I was. I still think regarding all of you, I'm not mad, no? I will not take another body. Surely this is who am appear, who am I appear in this world. But definitively, that's not what I realize as truth. It's an expression of what is. There is no confusion anymore. This is a big thing. That's why the search disappeared, you see, and the search disappeared along with the owner of the search. as reality. You see, it's based on the concept, that search. The concept, I am unsatisfied. I am totally miserable. Why? And finally you have to see it's because you take yourself for a person. I am born. My God, it's made to question that. Of course I am this body-mind. No, not of course. The wise say, no, not of course. It's because you have been swallowing the concepts of the world, the educations and everything else that you believe so. But the wise, they dare to say who you really are, your real nature is not contained even in this body-mind. You are not this body-mind. You appear as so. And please, it's a suggestion, realize your real nature, which is the same for all living beings. Realize it as it is already now there, but you are busy with your mind, because it ends the basic anxiety of living. It removes the total unsatisfaction. It removes the beliefs that it's always better there. You are keeping quiet in yourself. While this body is agitated and functioning, maybe, yes. But one cannot understand that, you see. It's just trying to describe according to your question. It's like just now, you see. I am on a podium. You ask, if I was taking myself for that, to it appear so, I am a teacher, you are a student. Happily, what a blessing. I don't take myself for that. And in fact, I don't take you as a student, even though outside I reply to you as a student, as a teacher and student. But that would collapse one of those days in oneself if he takes himself for anything. You see? What a blessing not to take oneself for anything. But for that you have to realize yourself. And the indication in satsang comes from the self towards yourself. Towards yourself. To awaken yourself. Which is there. But your mind is overcrowding it. Looks like veiling it. So it's to awake yourself. Yes, hi.
During that process, do you think it's good to focus on sensations of joy and positive bliss, or do you think they also might be distractions?
You see, if you want to have a journey of a seeker, you will enjoy it. If you want really to realize, you have to understand that they are experiences also, and so when they appear, enjoy them. When they disappear, know that it's normal. It was an expression, it was an experience, and I am not that. I'm not even the experiencer.
But during the process, trying to keep that state of positive bliss.
No, it's a waste of time. Total waste of time if you run after liberation. If you run after a better life, it's good. You have to know what's your priority, what is really what you want.
it's not that I don't have any question, but it's that when I come to satsang, I feel like I need to allow myself the opportunity not to have any question, because having a question is necessarily going into my mind or into the past. So even if I feel I have questions during the whole day, so I'm here and I say, no need for that. And I need to discern, I need you to help me discern whether this is the good direction or not.
But don't confine it into the satsang time, that's all. It's only 1 hour 15. But you see, the mind is a beautiful tool for the world. Unhappily, as it is a tool, it's dual, so there is also attached to that unsatisfaction and misery and all that. So just know it's for the world, the thoughts and all that, the experiences, the senses, the feelings, emotions and whatnot. Oh la la, it will invent so many things. What I was I'm caught by my own, not going to thoughts now. Yeah, I wanted to say, circumstantially now, nothing happens, so everybody is could be quieter and not catching thoughts, okay? But it's still circumstantial, okay? So now, it doesn't mean that you have not to use your mind. If your child asks something, then you go into this, and who cares? That is, of course, you are the person in this world, and all the environment belongs to this person, isn't it? Yeah. So, act there. Now, when you have a moment of this fire, you see, for freedom, remind yourself, or better than reminding, remind yourself till it is still a reminder. Oh, I'm not all that. And give even a moment, but it's already great, a moment of being nothing, nobody, nothing to hook at. And that, we see, will make the importance, the so-called reality of other things disappear. It's this second half, not catching the mind. That is working. No other efforts of a seeker will do. Except that one. Isn't it amazing to observe that one passes his days linking himself to thoughts, feelings, etc. But there is not a moment of breathing beside it generally, except those who went a long time in satsang, because they start to know the value of not having thoughts. Otherwise, it's amazing. We are putting, like in a train, wagon after wagon after wagon, you know, and even it can be absolutely non-interesting thoughts. Walking on the beach, what is there to think? You know, you give yourself a moment to be quiet on the beach. Still, there is a light thoughts which are, why? You just could be without anything. It's habits. It's one because one has not seen that. But now you start to see that, and then, oh, why, in fact, yes. Even in this life, you see, I can have moments where I don't use my mind. And who are you when you don't use your mind? Who are you? Are you someone?
Yeah. There is a fight arise sometimes, and going back. Fight arise because it. I wouldn't say anything, or I even hardly breathe because it is. I see everything is a thought. So and here everything is the mind, and I would there is a running, but not so far. Just the thoughts are coming very very fast, but still there is some. It's like half. It's a kind of freaking out arise and comes back because so there is really nothing to say. It is just the habit arise a fight and goes back.
But why it goes back? Let it go. Well, it has not to go back. Let it go away. There is enough space here.
I know.
It will dissipate like clouds. It doesn't go back. If it goes back, it will come again.
Yes.
Let it go. But maybe there is a lot of fight, so it's another fight which comes. Let them all go. They don't come back. Let them go. Yeah? Whatever rises, you don't even need to look at it. a good laughter. It comes from where they rise. Be there. Be there. Where are you when you laugh? Tell me where. That was a great dialogue. Thank you very much.